Nutritionist Pro NexGen's Ingredient tab allows you to add custom ingredients to the database. In this video, I will show you how to add an ingredient to the database step by step, retrieve or search for ingredient files, and print ingredient reports. Please note that a video tutorial on the Quick Add Wizard can be found at www.nutritionistpro.com on the video library page. From the home screen, click on the Ingredients section. You'll notice that the section contains various tabs, all of which are important to recipe analysis and food labeling features of Nutritionist Pro NexGen. Please note that all fields marked with an asterisk is a required field. Ingredients will not be saved unless required fields are filled in. To add an ingredient, you'll work through all the various tabs. Let's start with the General tab. NexGen will first require you to name the ingredient. The remaining fields under the General tab are optional but useful tools to make searching for your ingredients easier in the long run. For this example, I'll add information of a tomato sauce. You can group the ingredient by its classification and expand classifications by clicking on the arrow. You can also tag the ingredient as generic, assign it to a brand, or tag it to a reference source. By adding these labels, you can later search for it by brand, generic, or reference source. Click on the Favorites tag if it's an ingredient you use often and would like to find more easily in the future. Lastly, you can assign the ingredient a unique code for quick lookup or to correspond with your current system in place. Now click on the Measure tab. Use this tab to enter in the typical and alternate measures for the ingredient. The serving amount and corresponding weights are required fields. For example, with this tomato sauce ingredient, I will add half cup as the serving amount and 123 grams as the corresponding gram weight. The Notes section can provide serving size information for the user. You can remind the user that a serving size of, say, 1 slice of pizza is 1/8 of the pizza, or in this example, 1 can of the tomato sauce is 24 ounces. You can also add alternate measures for your ingredient by clicking on the Add More button and inputting the serving amount and corresponding gram weight. For example, you may want to make a quart, a gallon, a number 10 can, or a container as alternate measures, as they are common units of measures for tomato sauces. Click Add Alternate Servings when you are done. Now click on the Nutrients tab. All the nutrient fields are blank, which allows you to enter the information manually. Simply click on the fields and begin typing to add information. Be sure to note the units. Sometimes you may only know the percent daily value or nutrient reference value for certain nutrients. These percentages are based on nutrient standards that are region specific. To choose a nutrient standard, select an option from Nutrient Goals. You'll notice that Nutritionist Pro NexGen includes nutrient goals from different regions around the world, including USA, Europe, Hong Kong, Canada, and more. After choosing a nutrient goal, you're now able to add percent values for nutrients like calcium and iron. Once you save the ingredient, you can use the calorie checker, which adds up calories from carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and checks that those values equal the total calorie amount that you inputted. Now, click on the Ingredient Statement tab. Use this tab to enter ingredient statement information for your ingredient. You'll notice that NexGen is able to create ingredient statements in multiple languages depending on the regions you have purchased. Please note that this section is not required for clients using only recipe analysis. The ingredient statement is important for clients who are looking to create nutrient fact panels for their packaged goods. In future recipes that contain this ingredient, a common name will be used to represent this ingredient in the recipe's ingredient statement. For example, I may name this ingredient file tomato and basil sauce, but I want the common name tomato sauce to appear on the food label I will later generate. We recommend that you add common names to ingredients to simplify the food label making process. The Ingredient Statement section is a free text box for you to type in the ingredients for your ingredient. For example, if I purchase this tomato sauce from a vendor and would like to showcase the ingredient statement for the tomato sauce in the final product package, I'll type out the ingredient statement here. The software will then showcase the specific ingredient list in parentheses where it is used in recipes and food labels. The additional language tabs allow users to type in translated text that they would like to see on the food label. For example, if you purchase the Canadian food label module, we recommend that you also include the French translation of your ingredient statement under the French tab. Including the French translation allows you to create French or bilingual Canadian food labels. In the same way, we recommend that you include Spanish and Chinese translations if you plan on generating food labels with these languages. Lastly, remember to click Save. To add another ingredient, click Add New Ingredient. One of the common questions we get is, how does this tab affect my final food label? First, ingredient lists on food labels must list foods in order of predominance. Therefore, all the ingredients in this tomato sauce should be entered in order of predominance. Second, this tab will help generate a portion of the final ingredient statement when this food is used in other recipes. For this example, this tomato sauce is an ingredient of a pizza recipe. When I generate a food label for the pizza recipe, it will list dough, this tomato sauce, and the toppings. But it will also include all the ingredients that went into the tomato sauce, which in this case includes tomatoes, salt, water, sugar, and so on. Adding all of these ingredients in the Ingredient tab helps ensure that the ingredient statement lists all ingredients in this recipe. Please note that adding ingredient statements to your ingredients may or may not be needed depending on the type of product you're making and the region that you're in. Please refer to your government guidelines to see if you need to show an ingredient statement for the ingredients in your final recipe or formula. To retrieve an ingredient file, click on Search for Ingredient. You can search by name or use any of the filters to refine your search, including ingredients tagged as discontinued or common foods. Under the Source tab, you can filter your search by specifying the manufacturer or reference. If you are interested in using one reference, you can set it as the default. Lastly, you can search by classification of foods, such as dairy, international foods, or ingredient foods. Another excellent search function is limiting your searches to one source and making that the default source. So for example, if you'd like to make the USDA nutrient database as the default source, then you select the database and click Make Default. You can remove the default tag by unchecking this box. In NexGen, you can also tag ingredients as a favorite once you pull up its file. Please note, we recommend that you only tag custom ingredients as favorites. If you mark an Axia food as a favorite, it will turn into a custom food. If you would like to pull up Axia foods quickly, you can search by their unique code. To generate reports, simply open the ingredient file, click on Reports at the top, and select a report. You can also open this report in a PDF. From there, you can print it or save the report. To purchase or learn more about our app, go to www.nutritionistpro.com.